And we are live. Yep. Good. All right. Now the question is going to be, how in the hell do I share this out? Is it live? It says it is. All right. So there's that. What's this? Stream redirect. No, don't need to muck about with that. And what's this? Nope, don't need to do that. All right. I suppose I should have figured this out before time, huh? Oh, wait a minute. You can go here. My content. There's this. Share. It's streaming right now. Why would I? Oh, okay. That way I can. Gotcha. Ah, how you biting? There we go. I don't need to be chomped on right now, sweetie. Thank you. Zombie. Yeah. Which is my dog? Oh, he doesn't. Oh, Jesus, dog. Set up this little fragile there, Gunner. Could you not knock it over? He doesn't mean any harm. He's just big and goofy. Oh, damn dog. And yet, he will sit if she tries to hug him. Right? Yeah. Goober. All right. Enough of that. Madness. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Storyteller's Corner. I'm your host, Joshua T. Galpin-Strugy, also known as Byron Lucidius, and just going to talk a few bookish things and a little bit about video games. Two of my primary pursuits and interests. The home library was that you've seen down in my office wasn't already enough of a hint. There's also these shelves to consider. As for the game, I got going just a little Kirby Superstar. Thanks to my Powkitty Y6 device. Got that paused. Yeah. Spider! Oh. Got the little Halloween decoration she's making noises for. Ah! Spider, no bite! Ah. Hey, you too. These two bullet heads. The big one, Gunner, and the little pocket golden Sky. I understand, yes, the dog Sky, the littler one, yes, she is named after the Paw Patrol dog. Our older son, who was only 6, who's had the dog for a couple of years, when we got her, we asked him what name to give her, and he picked Sky because it was the only girl dog name that came to the top of his mind, because it's really his only reference. But bookish things, yes, in the description of the show here. I do have a bookish announcement, which is my latest dark fantasy or horror novel, Five and Dime, has cleared the final hurdle for global distribution, which means that within the next 24 to 48 hours, Five and Dime will finally be available for purchase on Amazon.com and Barnes and Noble. When it comes to getting global distribution clearance, those two outlets, and well, them and less so Waterstones. Oh, you got the squirrel. Thank you. The squirrel's got some dog fuzz on it. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Waterstones are the three largest distribution hurdles to get over when it comes to getting distribution for an independently published book. Most retailers, like Kobo Books or Thrift Books, Goodreads, and what have you, they're a little easier to get distribution authorized and given the okay to carry either actual copies of the book to be sold on their sites and services or to allow for press and review information to be entered for that particular title. When it comes to those three, generally speaking, it goes Waterstones. They're a little difficult. Then Amazon, and then the hardest hurdle Barnes and Noble in the middle. The hardest hurdle to clear in terms of getting global distribution for your independently published novel, if it is not published through KDP or Kindle Direct Publishing, Amazon is the hardest hurdle. And some 7 or 8 years ago, they purchased a service and site known as Smashwords. Smashwords used to be Amazon's primary competitor when it came to electronic format book publication in the indie scene and physical, don't pull that, trade paperback, such as this. Smashwords was their biggest opposition or competition. So what did Amazon do? They did what Amazon does. They bought them out, which reduces your options. There's still draft to drive digital for electronic format, but in terms of physical format indie book publishing, there's not a ton of options remaining in the market if you don't want to, or you don't foresee yourself being able to get a literary agent or to work through networking through a standard publishing house. Most of whom, unless you have a post-secondary degree or you fill certain quota boxes in accordance with the current trends in publishing and book sales, you're not going to get carried, period. Your only option, really, your only viable option, is to do it yourself. Ha. Who will? My chicken here. Downside of being in the toy room down here, or playroom. But this was also the room that I'm in right now that had the floor problem that we just had. God damn it, Gunner. You're big. You're big. Quit hitting the table. It's a little... Gunner, stop. You goof. Good Lord. Look, I'm going to show you, folks, my setup down here. I know I'm not down in my home office. Okay, I got a folding table, a folding tray table, and a metal folding chair right now here in game room or family room. Speaking of other games, I've got the Pow Kitty Y6 stick set up on that television, and on this TV, my father-in-law has his original Xbox set up down here. I've got my Xbox 360 sitting right there, also connected to that television. And there's a reason why you want to hold on to original hardware and why I'm not fond of the whole digital games only. Part of the reason is licensing. The only way that I can play this game is to play it from the disc that is sitting in that Xbox 360 because Xbox no longer has the license to sell or operate and run this game. They no longer have the license from Disney/Marvel. So you cannot go and purchase this game digitally. You can't run it digitally. You have to have a physical copy of the game, or else you're shit out of luck. And then the Xbox One is upstairs in the living room. I'm not specifically loyal to Microsoft or Xbox as a brand or as a console type. Just happens to be at each stage after a few years what has been most affordable for me to get and the easiest to jump into. When it comes to current day gaming, I tend to be a bit of a pleb or casual, as you would say. I'm much more a retro gamer. I've shown pictures of and I've shown off on stream a few times some of my handheld retro devices. It tends to be the way in which I'm able to actually sit down and play any kind of game for any period of time. It's 5 to 10 minutes here or there. I have to utilize save states, quick saves, because I don't have a lot of time. You can hear the kiddo in the background. She's, for some reason, trying to bury the little pocket golden in couch pillows, and Sky's just letting it happen because she's a floof like that. Gunner, what do you have? Hey, Gunner, what are you chewing on? Get that. Open your mouth. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't do that, dude. Hi, Sky. Jealous dogs. Hi. Wake up. I know I'm distracted, but that's what it is to have dogs and kiddos. You are not your own person, and kind of neat that way sometimes. What you doing? But I'm going to play a little bit of Kirby and have you guys watch, and then I'm going to comment on something I've been seeing people talking about on X this morning, particularly in a group conversation that I'm looped in on. That something is interesting is brought up in the conversation. I'll touch upon it kind of briefly. Hopefully y'all can see. Okay. Let's adjust this up. Sorry about the shaky cam and the noise. Look. Downside of these devices is sometimes the controllers don't like to cooperate. There. Whoop. What the hell? Whoop. Yeah. I like the ninja. Ah, damn it. I wanted the ninja. All right. Backtrack. And yes, if you're wondering, I do suck. It doesn't help, too, that I gashed my thumb open last night at work, and it's a little more difficult to operate the digital pad, the D-pad on this thing. fully intact thumb, as it were. Yes. I will say that was always one of my favorite aspects of these Kirby games is that they are just sort of silly, basic fun. There's not a whole lot of complication to them, but they require you to be active and paying attention to your game and actually, engaging with it and playing it. There have been a number of folks in, I suppose you'd call it games journalism, although how much journalism is actually involved in it these days is questionable. And a lot of folks online who discuss video games and who are vested in them less as an actual form of entertainment or art form, and more interested in them and as a form of kind of gateway into socio-political or geopolitical conversations and social topics. Hold on. Hey, kiddo, you okay? What's up? Oh, did you step on her? What the hell is the matter? Yeah. You okay? Here, come on. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Um, but one of the things a lot of these games journalists and games commentators, some of them at least, seem to be pushing towards is the prevalence of easy mode. The phrase yellow paint is frequently employed, and skipping boss fight, having a button prompt to skip a boss fight. Games where you are predominantly just watching what's happening on screen and not actually interacting with it, which to me seems counter entirely to the whole point of a video game. One of the things that appeals to people who indulge in the hobby, in the pastime, is that you are an active participant in what's happening on screen. Your dedication to learning the patterns of the enemy behaviors, the environmental interactivity, your dedication to learning the proper button inputs, figuring out the time delay, if there is a delay between input and activity on the screen, that is entirely putting the agency of the character on screen in command of the player in their hands. They get to participate in the fiction, in the environment of the game as an active participant, not as a passive participant or intaker of the material. I am a bookish fellow by and large. When it comes to my entertainment pastimes, I tend to spend more time um, with a book in hand as opposed to a controller in hand. In large part, again, based on availability of my time, what I can concentrate on in drips and drabs and bits and pieces. Because I've got the kiddos, I've got the house, I have a regular job. These games journals and game streamers, video game content creators on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter/X, wherever. Many of them, not all of them, I'm not going to even attempt to say this, but many of them, their career is playing video games and streaming them and commenting on them. That is the entirety of their career. It's how they make their money. It's how they pay their way. Why would you want to then make that a passive interaction, a passive experience? Then you are effectively earning your money for doing next to nothing. And that seems to me, at least, counterintuitive. I would imagine that if you are going to make the primary focus of your method of earning an income, that you would want to actually be engaged in it. So the tendency or trend for these folks to want games that allow you to skip bosses or skip levels or be overpowered from the very start of the game, it strikes me as counterintuitive. Now, I'm a much bigger on retro these days. Again, as I was saying before, because of save states, because I can pick up and play, and put it down right away. You know, I've got Kirby going on right now, Kirby Superstar, Revenge of the Meta Knight. What's really nice is a few minutes ago, if you play back and are watching the stream later in playback, you saw me use a save state, and I can just as easily pull up this menu and quit the game. Pick up, put it down. Done. But if I want to, I can hop right back into it almost just as quickly. Just got to wait for it to load up. Bring this screen up again. Load state. I'm right back where I left off. Less than a minute. It's very convenient for a fellow like myself who doesn't have a great deal of time to commit to a single game session. But devices like this are largely frowned upon. There's often legal action taken against people utilizing them or streaming them. But they are everywhere. And you know, there's some classics on here, like absolute universal classics. I'm a particular fan of rock and roll racing. Hey, Sarge, greetings and salutations, brother. How you doing? Good of you to pop in. And hey, Sarge, I was just saying a little bit ago. I finally passed the final hurdles for getting approval for global distribution of the newest title, Five and Dime. Just for a brief blurb, I'm going to read to you the back cover copy. Yes, sweetie. What are you doing over there? Being a goof. From the back cover copy of Five and Dime. Tyler Evans had a lot in common with most modern young men, lacking direction, purpose, and faith. Unfortunately, his life was cut short while still in this state, and Tyler found himself where so many ultimately do. Hell. But hell, he learns, is not quite how he always heard it and read it to be portrayed. And Tyler finds himself not among the damned, who spend their eternity in torment and agony, but as a member of the condemned, a slightly elevated rank of mortal soul bound to Lucifer's realm. I invite you, readers, to witness a different kind of afterlife in Five and Dime. This cleared global distribution authorization and acceptance for Waterstones, Barnes& Noble, and Amazon this morning. So it is now available. What's that? Looks like this is one of your big sister's like press-on nails, sweetie, that fell off. Oh, it's a ghost. She probably wore it for Halloween. I just got a book live the lazy easy way on Amazon KDP. KDP it's an option. I don't use it myself. I mean, I sell through, or rather, I don't sell. My works, many of them are distributed and available for sale through Amazon, but I always encourage people to either purchase through Lulu or purchase through Barnes& Noble, or if you're in the UK or anywhere in Europe, head to a Waterstones. You can place a custom order, or not a custom order, a special order for any of the works of yours truly, Joshua T. Calkins Trilogy. Those of you who need to write that down, you can pause the video. See right there. Right there. Anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta hit the loo. Put that there. Bye. Right. What's up, Joe? What? Towel, honey. You have to dry my hands. Sorry about that. But yeah, so finally cleared the hurdle for global distribution, and that is now it cleared. It got acceptance for global distribution yesterday afternoon. That does not mean that the book will be live and available for sale yet on Barnes & Noble and Waterstones and Amazon. Typically speaking, once it gets cleared or accepted for global distribution, at that point, you've got 24 to 48 hours before those retailers will have the book listed on their site. That tends to be how it works. I can see. I'll actually pull it up and see if I can find it available there already. Whoop, let's go. You can hear me clicking and clacking. I apologize for that, but it is what it is. All right, let me see here. So, look for clickety clackety, clickety clackety. I don't know if it'll be listed live yet. See? No, it is not listed live yet on Amazon. So it's not listed yet. It's been cleared for distribution there, but it has not yet been listed. That's okay. That'll probably be another couple of days. Sometimes it can take as long as a full week before or between the time when the book is accepted for distribution and when it's listed on Amazon for sale. That's perfectly okay. I'm not too worried about that. My bigger concern is if I'm going to be able to find it on Barnes and Noble. Because they sometimes get delays of upwards of like 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month. Typically, you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks delay, though. And again, with this having just cleared, gotten the okay for global distribution, I don't know. We'll see. You can hear the little one going crazy in the background there. And you can hear Gunner Pogo sticking off the outer door. Not yet. Not up on Barnes and Noble yet. All the Himalayan tales are listed up there, though. Huh. Curious. Okay. Well, that's that. Murdoch, greetings and salutations, sir. How you doing? Sarge, you ask which platform is best from my end, commission-wise, in terms of sales or in terms of percentages. Quite honestly, Lulu.com grants me the best percentage of each sale. When I have a book listed on the various platforms, price on like Lulu and Amazon, let's say it's $20 list price on each platform. Okay. Five and Dime, I did price it, I believe at 20 or 20. Yeah, I believe I priced this at $20. Okay. On Amazon.com, once it's actually listed for sale there, each copy of Five and Dime that is sold on Amazon at the $20 price tag, I will see approximately $1.38 off of, because of distribution fees, because of printing fees. The majority of it gets eaten up by distribution. As far as Barnes and Noble, I get a slightly better amount off of them. The $20 price tag, if it's purchased off of Barnes and Noble, I'll get about $3.50 off of that. So, well, thank you, Sark. I appreciate that. In terms of Lulu.com, which is the primary method that I use for the production of many of my self-produced works. If you go to Lulu.com and you purchase Five and Dime at the $20 price tag, I see a little over $9 off of that sale. Or sorry, a little over $8. So in terms of which distribution method or outlet works best for me on my end, I get the greatest amount of sale from Lulu when it's direct through them. I don't really have a preference, except for, while I like to have my books available on Amazon because it's the largest marketplace, I would prefer if people become aware of my books being available on Amazon and then go and check and see if they're still available on Barnes & Noble or Lulu and purchase from there. It might take you a little longer for the book to end up in your hands if you go through Barnes & Noble. But if you go directly through Lulu, because they're also the printers, you will get your book quicker. And I'll end up seeing a larger percentage of the sale. That's why I try to direct people to Lulu. If you have Amazon Prime, I can't knock anybody for choosing that method for their purchase, because then their shipping is free, orders are expedited, and that's part of the reason why I see so much less of a cut from each sale on Amazon. Is when a copy of any of my books is purchased through Amazon Prime, Lulu's printing operation receives an expedited order request. So they churn out the copy and send it off to the warehouse for Amazon to then distribute out to the customer rapid fire within 24 hours. They print it, they send it to Amazon, and then Amazon sends it out to the Prime customer. There's a cost to that. That costs Amazon a little extra money to get expedited printing from Lulu. They pass that cost on to me, the author, because I have cleared their acceptance of distribution and sales to them. Thank you, Sarge. Yes, you found it. Indeed. Yeah, I have to confess, the book has been live and available for sale on Lulu for about a month. I don't make big splashy announcements of these things typically when they hit Lulu as the primary printer. I probably should be better about that, but I've always sucked at self-promotion. You guys know that. I'm not great shakes at saying, hey, here's my shit. Buy it, read it, enjoy it, have joy. No, Five and Dime is not part of any series, Sarge. It is a standalone dark fantasy novel. It is self-contained. There is no prior required reading beforehand. There is no part of its lore or structure that requires familiarity with any of my other written works. Now, you might be able to enjoy it a bit better if you're familiar with Christian mythology, generally speaking. That will certainly give you a leg up, and I know that you are familiar with that, so you will have a leg up. There are a couple of things in this story that, when I sent it off for consideration for distribution through Amazon and through Barnes & Noble, I was a little worried I'd get dinged for. Things that I thought, well, maybe they'll catch this and they'll say, we're not going to sell or distribute your book. There's a couple of elements that I genuinely thought I might get dinged for. Murdoch. Oh, that's cool. I knew that he was an author as well. I just forgotten how much he had written or what his genre is. Murdoch, if you're still here with us, brother, what genre do you predominantly work in? Fantasy, sci-fi, mystery? What do we got here? Because, yes, I have a disgusting glut of books to read at my disposal, but I could always use more. I hardly have the time to read the ones I've got, but I'll squeeze it in on my breaks at work. It's actually where I do a lot of my reading, is at work on my breaks. And that's largely because I'm down to only currently working on one work in progress, one manuscript or book that I'm currently writing. I did a streak of short stories near the beginning of the year, and since June, I have been working on a new novel-length manuscript, and I probably won't finish or wrap the first draft on that until maybe January or early February next year, and then much of the middle portion of next year will be spent editing, redrafting, tightening up, and then preparing that one for publication. I had a very busy year this year with publication because I already had so many finished drafts sitting in the ash can of my hard drive, ready to format and throw out there at the market. So if it seems like I did a lot of publishing this year, not really. Or a lot of writing, not really. I just did a lot of final production and distribution this year, including Not So Epic, Fodder Squad, um, um, Fodder Squad, Not So Epic, Five and Dime, and I forget what the other one was. Oh no, that's right. I forgot because I didn't actually uh, get distribution on it yet. Free Spirits, which I have to make a couple of adjustments, or Barnes and Noble and Amazon will not carry it. I'm thinking about saying screw it and just letting that be a Lulu exclusive. It's just a collection of 5 short stories, um, kind of dark fantasy horror stories set during the American Revolutionary period and colonial American period. It's just 5 short stories set in that framework. I've got a copy of it here. And this was my proof copy. And this is available. This is available for sale right now on Lulu. I did not get approval for distribution through Barnes and Noble and Amazon for this one. Furious Dan, greetings and salutations. How you doing, Dano? It's good of you to pop by, brother. What's up, son? What's up? Huh? What's up? Ooh, okay. How's it going? Um, Sarge Murdoch, Furious Dan is somebody who I chit chat with a little bit more on more game and pop culture centered shows and streams. If you have not had an opportunity to meet and chat with him, he's a good fella. You're currently at work? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, brother, but thanks for popping in. I do appreciate it. Good to have you here. Do you want to say hi? Say hello. Hello. Eric. Oi. Oh, honey. Oh, Lord. Come on. Really? She likes to just see yourself right there, right? Kind of neat. Yeah, Gunner's being a pogo stick on the door there. I'm going to show you what I mean by pogo stick. Hold on a second. Come on, honey. Follow me. I know. Come on. Come on. Follow me. There's a reason why Gunner also has the nickname Pogo. It's because when we let him or Sky out into the yard to use the bathroom, when he comes back, he will pogo stick and jump and bash his claws against this sliding glass door. I hear you, honey. I know. I saw. I'm going to mute the microphone for a few minutes. I got to go get her a butt change. It's part of what her There we go. Yeah, that's why we call him Pogo sometimes. Boom, boom. Yes, Sarge, Lulu is definitely a platform I would recommend. Oh, Dan, I know that I know you've had a little bit of fatherly heartbreak watching your little girl go off like that to join the service. And I think it speaks well to you as a father, as a parental figure, that your child has chosen a path of service and self-sacrifice. It speaks to it speaks well to you having imparted the tenets and merits of understanding and accepting duty to something greater than just yourself. And for that alone, you deserve to be commended. I can only imagine, brother. And look, I don't know what it's like to be in that precise headspace as a father. My oldest two kiddos from my very first marriage, many years ago now, still live out in Buffalo, New York, where I'm from. My oldest is 21. Her little sister is 19. They don't talk to me much these days, but my oldest was considering going into the service. She ended up going to culinary school instead. Okay. Um, but I can't imagine it, and I know you're proud of her though. I imagine, well, I can't know with finality, but I imagine that you are proud of her, and I'm sorry that there is that ache, but bear in mind that that ache stems from understanding that you know that this part of who you are will go on and is doing what you imparted her to do, to understand the duty. That is noble. That is honorable. And it speaks well to your character that that was the choice that she made. It maybe it isn't helpful to hear that from me and perhaps not put the best way, but I hope that helps, brother. And shit, you've always given me an opportunity to throw a jab and joke here and there when I pop in on your shows, which is not often. I understand, and I apologize for that. I'm kind of terrible shakes when it comes to that shit. You're very welcome, Dan. Don't tease the dog with that. she's got this. She's got this like slinky rattle thing that she was waving around on the steps, and Gunner was just kind of going, just waiting for her to throw it or do something with it. Like, he's a good dog. He's friendly, but he is dumb as a box of rocks. I guess that's why he's mostly my dog. Makes sense. Like owner, like dog. Whack, whack, whack. Oops. No ups. Okay. Yeah, that's more Sky's thing. I know. Oh, happy boy. Oh, you drop it? Hold on. There you go. There you go. Grab it. There. And when you whip it up the stairs like that, it drives her crazy. And now she dropped it again. This is part of the game. I drop it, you pick it up. I drop it, you pick it up. All right, Dan. Thanks for stopping in for a few, brother. God bless. Now, Sarge, when you've been looking into these platforms, are you yourself thinking of creating your own work of fiction? Lulu does also do printing for nonfiction books as well. Just bear that in mind. If it's a political polemic, you can do that too. Ah! What? Yeah, flapping dog tail. Don't run into his butt. Okay, nonfiction. So, have you got your manuscript finished and edited? What? I know. She's going real crazy. Yeah, they're making you nervous. Well, just remember you outweigh her by about 80 pounds. I wouldn't worry about it, dog. He's looking at me and whining like, she's insane. Yeah, well, you outweigh her by a lot. Chill out, dog. I don't know if you heard my question, Sarge. Get off the counter. Butthead. I don't know if you were able to hear me, Sarge. I had asked if your manuscript is finished. And wait, I think you said earlier you went the KDP route, right? Did you clarify that before and I just forgot? Oh, okay. Nope, that's perfectly understandable, perfectly respectable. I am streaming on both Rumble and YouTube right now, and there's only an audience on Rumble right now, so I completely understand. You can text me, either text me the link or the title, and I can look it up later. You still got my number, right? Sarge, I could have done the formatting for you. It's all right. You know what? You needed it done when you needed it done. And when it comes to that sort of thing, while I am more than happy to do pro bono to help a buddy out, I don't always have the availability. And I imagine you were probably thinking about that. Like, hey, he's a good dude, but he probably can't wedge this into his short periods of free time. Yeah, I figure. All right, yeah, definitely send me a link to that or name and title, and I will look that up later on, Sarge. But it is approaching lunchtime for the little girl here, and then nap time. So I am going to go ahead and cut our time here together. London Bridge, or yeah, London Bridge. Zarg de Triomphe. Okay. Oh yeah, these things and different printers or publishers, the way they need things formatted is different. There are a couple of universal standards, but I am going to tell you right now, and this might come as a pleasant surprise to hear. Formatting with Lulu is way easier than going immediately to KDP. Because KDP, Amazon, does not want to do any kind of formatting on their end. They'll just tell you, you need to change this. They won't help you with that at all. Lulu, for free, will help format. it's a nice little thing to have on hand. So as a printer and publisher, I like them as an indie option. But to each his or her own tastes. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, from the Storyteller's Corner and from all over this freaking house, um, I appreciate you guys stopping in and chit chatting with me a little bit. And yeah, enjoying some of the chaos. I thank you for listening. I thank you for stopping in. I ask that you take care of yourselves. And as always, keep reading.